let it go. All right. The competition is not who makes the most money at the end of the day. It's who goes to sleep the happiest.
Greetings and welcome to The Bit Between, a podcast dedicated to sharing stories and learning lessons. My name is Sabu Mahmood, and today we talk with Sam Mazzarino, aka Reeno, a dude from the US who managed to build a following, build a brand on Instagram, and currently attends one of the best art colleges in the world. We talk about his journey and how he went from posting simple drawings and doodles to working with some of the biggest celebrities in the world. He's only 18 years old and he's doing some incredible things, so I really hope you enjoy listening to this episode. Just a couple of things before we begin. First of all, and most importantly, thank you very much for listening. I mean, it hasn't even begun yet, but it still means a lot that you're taking time out of your day to listen to this podcast episode, because I put a lot of work into this, and I'm really grateful that I can share this with you. Secondly, when it comes to audio quality, mine in the video isn't the best, not quite as good as this. I'm currently thinking of better ways I can record my audio, but that'll come in future episodes. And finally, this episode does have a few swear words, bad words in it, so keep that in mind if you're listening, they're children, or you don't like swear words. One last thing. Around about halfway through, we talk about mock-up packs, which is something that Sam kind of came up with. I don't think we explained it very well in the episode. So just to clarify, a mock-up pack is a collection of high-quality images of blank pieces of clothing that Reeno kind of sells, so people can superimpose or put their own designs onto a t-shirt and use that to see what it's going to look like and show it to their customers. So, without further ado, this is the first proper episode of The Bit Between. I hope you enjoy. What's good, man? How's it going?
It's going great, bro. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. How's COVID over there?
It's not the best. People are having trouble socializing over here. Can't have any guests in from outside of the school. We can't, all the classes are online pretty much except for studio. Studio's only got 8 kids. So you really only have a network of 8 people as far as school goes. Everything else is up to you. DMing people or linking over dinner. You know me, I be doing that shit, but like for most kids, it's not the easiest. I feel for them. Me, I'm good because I like quarantine. I like just like reading and just being inside and stuff like that. So I'm cool with it, but I'm tired of it for sure. Ready for it to be over.
Me too, man. Me too. Online teaching just sucks though, doesn't it? Like, it's so bad. Before we, go on to other stuff, you mind giving a quick introduction somehow if people don't know who you are? Give a quick introduction.
Of course, yeah. So I'm Sam Mazzarino. I run Reeno Studios and Reeno Clothing. Reeno Studios is a studio dedicated to helping. So, there's the YouTube videos to help people's lives. There's the digital tools to help people design, and then there's just the art that comes out of it as a natural result. And it's kind of the more personal thing. And then Reeno Clothing is where I do all my clothes.
Nice. So when did you actually start Reeno Studios?
I started it in 2018, I believe May 2018. It's about, 2.5 years ago, something like that.
And like, how did you first get into art this is like before Reeno Studios is not even on the cards? How did you first get into art?
I've talked about this a few times, but basically so every kid when they're growing up, they all draw and they all dance and sing and play and all that. But every kid draws. Like, you've never met an 8-year-old that's like, oh, I don't draw, I don't do art. I feel like I just never grew out of that. So, like, it's a hard thing for me to answer, like, when did you start doing art? Because it's like, I've been doing art. I never really stopped. Yeah. But as far as I started taking it more seriously in 2017, 2018, because I was like, yo, I see these other artists are making money with their art. I'm nice with this. I've been doing this my whole life. I went to art middle school, art high school, and and I was pretty, I'm good for my age. So I was like, I could be doing more with this. And then I kind of decided, all right, let's start getting a little better at this, and let's see how we can commercialize it a little, not in terms of the style, but how we can make some money on it.
So who did you like? Who were you inspired by when you first started Reeno?
The main one is Kanye, bro. He was the one I looked at. He was really the one I looked at because he was the most emotional and most like expressive as far as expressing what he feels. And I remember watching the interview where he's like, I'm like a machine, a robot. You cannot offend a robot because at the end of the day, the product and the talent will overcome anything, something like that. And I was like, yo, that's true. And then I started thinking like, okay, all these people that I'm looking up to, they're all just humans too.
Yeah.
I'm a human. They're a human. 99.9% same DNA. They don't have any, physical advantages over me or anything like that. It's all mental.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm looking at basketball players. I'm looking at just other creatives. It's all mental. And so I was like, okay, all I have to do is change what's in here, and then the rest will follow. And then at that point, I just started getting into making like a bulletproof mentality, and everything followed from there.
So mentality's the main thing then?
Bro, mentality's everything. Everything else is just a result. Mentality is the algorithm.
I mean, I was having this conversation with some flatmates, and that's what I was explaining. If you don't have the mindset to go anywhere and the vision of where you're going to go, how are you going to get there? How are you going to get there? But let's get back onto Reeno itself. So how did Reeno first start out? Because it was like drawings and stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, at the very, very beginning, it was just doodles. And I would just post doodles to my page. Literally started from no followers, maybe 70, from just like pushing it to my friends and stuff like that. So maybe 70 followers. And I was just posting doodles, getting no attention, obviously. And then I started, well, you gotta understand, man, like none of this was left up to fate from the beginning. It wasn't maybe, like it was never maybe. So, I mean, I had a job. I talk about this all the time in interviews and stuff.
The
But
pizza.
the pizza place that I didn't like working there really. I just didn't like, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to be my own boss. So I was like, okay, we got to be making some money from this. And it's not maybe, it's how. So I started, I created a bunch of what are called engagement groups, which is essentially people where you comment and like each other's posts. And I created those so that, I created like 10 of them. So I would be liking and commenting on like 12 people a day's post. And then, when I would post, maybe 80 people would come and comment, and like 100 and something would like. So it started getting my post in the algorithm of Instagram a little bit. And it was so evidently fake. And I was like, that's cool. Because it's so evidently fake that people are going to know it's fake, and they're going to see the hustle. But so that started getting, into the atmosphere a little bit more. And then I started doing celebrity stuff kind of just by chance. I wasn't even really a tactic, but people liked that a lot more. And now I understand why, but before I didn't. And
So
yeah,
talk me through how the celebrity stuff happened, because you just kind of wiped off like, then I just did celebrity stuff like it was nothing. But you worked with some big people, bro. You worked with some big names.
Yeah. I mean, I was just talking about, I started drawing celebrities. So that was just kind of by chance. But then it started kind of picking up a little bit. People really, like, for whatever reason, were really fucking with my art style and the way that I would draw their favorite celebrity. So one of the first ones I drew was Billie Ellish. Actually, the very first one I drew was X. And later, X had seen that original drawing, and I was getting ready to get recruited onto the Bad Vibes Forever, design team. That was right before he died. Very unfortunate.
Sad.
But anyways, that happened. Everything happens for a reason though. that happened. And then the next one I drew was Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish saw it, and then we started making merch together. That was the first thing that happened. Really boosted Reeno off. And then, Travis Scott reposted my art, and then Playboy Cardi reached out to me. Eric Andre retweeted my stuff, and then some other kind of more underground people started fucking with my stuff. And then it was just kind of like, boom, solidified my spot right there. And then from there, it's just been, growing and changing as an artist in a positive way.
How old are you at this point?
18.
No, like when the celebrity stuff first started.
Oh, when that started? 16.
Because at 16, like, you're not mature yet. You hardly know what's going on in your head. So how did working with these massive celebrities, how did that affect you?
I don't know, bro. I did know exactly what was going on in my head. Like, maybe not as far as like some external shit went, like maybe not as far as like, understanding girls or outside factors or like being the best in school. But as far as vision, I had that on lock because, like I said, I started putting in that work, 5 months before Reeno started. I spent those 5 months prior to getting this bulletproof and, learning about law of attraction. So everything that I saw, I've talked about this too. I was almost delusional, just believing that I was at the point that I wanted to be. So when those pieces fell into place, it was just obvious to me. Yeah, it felt great. And yeah, it proved to me that I was right. But in my head, I already knew I was right. So, I mean, yeah, it felt awesome though. And it was like, okay, here's the evidence. Because before I was in here and I believed it, but now it's like, yo, Billie Eilish we're doing merch together. So now I really have a reason to actually quit this pizza place and then start pursuing stuff. And, it's that kind of external validation that I guess is in a way required for things to grow. Well, I don't know if that's true, but anyways, yeah, that's what it was.
But where did that first, you talk about this vision and like this mindset, where did you get that from though?
Bro, it was just, because when I was working at the pizza restaurant, I was thinking to myself, okay, I really wanted that job. I went into the job 3 times and like asked them if I could please work there. Like I was basically begging, and I kept going in because it's the only place I wanted to work at. Like family operated pizza place, really close by, really wanted it, got it. And then I was like, okay, if this is what like work is, like this is what people end up doing with their lives. Cause I was working with people in their 40s, 50s. Yeah. I was like, yo, if this is the final, like this is the end, then I might as well just kill myself here because this is not a life that I want to keep living.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool. I had fun there. I made my first little money, but this is not what I want to keep doing. Yeah. So once I realized that, I was like, okay, how do I do other stuff? Because I see all these celebrities. I literally was inspired by Billie Eilish before I even worked with her. She was 16 too, and she was doing her thing. And she was, millions of followers. And I was like, okay, she's doing her thing with music. I'm going to just do that, but with art. Why not? Like, I'm sure that a lot of people would say, oh, because of this, but I just wasn't hearing that. So that's, I guess where it started. And then I was just like, okay, now let me develop this and let me refine it until it's perfect.
Nice. So as Reeno kind of moved on, you started, one of the big things that you started kind of working on was the mock-up packs. Firstly, can you just explain, like for our listeners who don't know what that is, what a mock-up pack is, and why, when it seems so counterintuitive, you decided to work on that?
What do you mean by counterintuitive?
As in, you're an artist and everybody else out there, you're competing with them. You're trying to sell your products or sell your art, and so are they. So it seems kind of, the wrong way around for you to be helping them, if you get what I mean.
I get what you mean, but that's the exact opposite of the truth, because I'm not competing against anyone. In fact, I don't know if that's true. I guess I kind of am. You know, you can't really escape that. But I want to be. I want to be competing with the best. And
Right.
I want any way that I can help everyone else be a better competitor, I'm going to provide that, man. Because I want the smoke. I want everyone to be the best artist. I don't want to go against these artists that can't even figure out how to put something on a t-shirt. Here's the t-shirt. Just
Yeah.
take it. All right, now let's have a real discussion. But, on a serious note, it's because, I just wanted to make things easier. Like really where it came from is I was like, okay, I always, every time I design, I have to go on Google and I have to try to find a nice blank and I have to edit out the tag and I have to edit out the design
Yeah.
and then I have to cut out the background. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take the pictures of the shirts myself. I'm going to order them all in all colors, take the pictures of the shirts so that I don't have to do this anymore. And then I realized other people could just as well use this as I could. So at that point, I was just like, all right, this is an experiment. Put them up on the site. And I basically pushed it to all my creative friends and said, take a free pack, shot it out on your story. And it was a hit, bro. People loved
Exploded.
it.
It
Yeah,
exploded, bro.
exploded. It was something that became bigger than myself, man. And it still is. And it's still at the very early stages of that. But yeah, bro, it's just because I do not fear competition. Not at all. Bring it on. I promise you, there's nothing you could do to impede on what I got planned because it's so drastically different and unique to my own person and soul that there's nothing anybody else could do that would make what I have planned and what I want to do, make that not happen. So I'm cool with it, man. And that's also why I do the YouTube videos, because you could say the same thing. Like, okay, you have like a really good mindset that will put you above so many people and ahead of so many people. So why would you share it? But it's just because I want to help. Like I get a really deep sense of purpose from just helping people and trying to make the world better. I've been so blessed and I've just been so blessed, man, with all the things that I have in my life and all the opportunities and people and the things that I've got. So like the least I could do, I'm already fully content.
Yeah.
Least I could do is give some
Fully?
of that back, and yeah, I'm fully content. And so like least I could do is make some other people get closer to that feeling.
That's so kind, man.
It just feels good. If anything, it might be selfish.
That's strange because people view business and these sort of things as competition and I need to be better than everybody else. But what it seems like from what you do, what you put out there, is you're on a different level, and now you're kind of reaching down and helping everybody else come up to closer to you.
Yeah, bro. Let's level the playing field. I want to remove the gatekeeping. There's no point to that. If we really want to, some of the best designers and artists that have the best ideas are only held back because they don't know how to express themselves, or they don't know some step along the way because there's so much gatekeeping and so many secrets. And if I could just get rid of all that and like swap those clouds away and just make it as clear as possible, here's the stairway, then that's what I'm gonna do. And I don't think that a lot of people have the opportunity to be able to do that. But I do, so I'm gonna do it. And I always like to do what's the opposite of what people usually do.
To kind of roll off that, a lot of what you do is very original. Like, it's you say you take inspiration from like Kanye West and stuff like that, but it's so you. So how did you get to a place where you can just be confident with what your ideas are and what you have, as opposed to like what you see now, for example, like the Jordan 1 and how everybody's just doing the same thing with that, doing a different colorway or changing the tick or something like that. So how have you got to a point where you're so happy with just your own vision and your own creations, as opposed to just like joining the bandwagon of everybody else doing everything else?
It's like a multifaceted answer for that. So on one level, I create art as least as possible. because if I'm going to make it, it should be because I feel it really has to be made. There's a lot of art that I do make that never sees the light of day, because I don't think that it's, really important. And that's how I kind of keep that standard up of, creativity and originality. And not that everything I do is original. A lot of it is very inspired, but, as far as not being on bandwagons, like I said, if a lot of people are doing it, I'm the first person that's going to be looking in the exact opposite direction. You see these clothing brands and in the underground clothing community right now. What is it based on? Fire, skulls, death,
Butterflies.
negativity, butterflies, roses, flames, lightning. I don't know, all that shit. So I was like, okay, so that's what it's based on. Let me do something spiritual, enlightening, positive, happy, helpful, practical. So that's, what I did with the YouTube and what I did with the Maka packs and stuff like that. So, that's art in its own form too. But, I don't sit there. I don't do this where I'm like, okay, I have to get a collection out by the end of the month. That's not me, because that's not productive, and it's not going to actually innovate anything. I would rather get a job, even though you know how much I don't like jobs, rather get a job so that I can sustain myself financially, and then have the freedom to create what I want to create, rather than being a slave to my own creativity. So I don't worry about what's the trend or anything. I kind of live in my own world in a little bit, in a way like that. And then the other aspect to what you said was, could you repeat the question again? So I remember.
It was just like, I think you answered it really well, to be honest. I kind of asked, bro, I can't remember. It was like, how are you so happy with how your ideas come straight from your brain, if you get what I mean?
Okay, yeah. Now I remember. Okay, so I said it was multifaceted. So the second facet is because the only thing that I'm here for, bro, is really just to serve God. I'm not a Christian or any particular religion, but I'm very spiritual, and I know, or at least I know for my life personally, that there's a higher being and like a higher reason for everything, and like a source of infinite knowledge. And my entire purpose is to serve that source of infinite knowledge, because that's given me everything that I have right now.
Mm-hmm.
All I could do is listen to that voice. And it's required me to make some of the hardest decisions of my life. And it's made me go out of my comfort zone more than anything. But, I always consult with that more than anything else. So like, I'm never alone because I have that. So I talk to that and I say, should this drop? And most often it says no. Or what usually ends up happening is I'll pray, give me a design. I really want to design this shoe. I really want to design this collection. Please just give me the designs for it. I just pray that you give me really, really creative and unique, innovative designs for this that are the best that I've ever made. And they come when they come. And it works however it works. I don't have that plan for it. I don't, I could say, okay, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to draw them until I have the designs. But maybe what has to happen is I have to go out to dinner with somebody, meet a new person, have a communication with that person, and then I come to certain realizations that inform the designs of the next collection. And that's not how a typical designer would go about designing something, but that's how the designs usually manifest. It's in really strange and seemingly disconnected ways that all come together and the dots get connected looking backwards, right? So all I could do is really just, serve that voice.
So if you don't mind me asking, because I know this is quite a personal question, but what's your idea of God then?
Like I said, man, it's just infinite knowledge. Oh, you know what? I forgot to say this before when I was talking, but when I say prayers like that, it's not out of a place of desperation. It's out of a place of complete abundance. It's like, thank you. You've already given me this design. you've already given me this. And it's like you start feeling the feelings of already having it. And then you thank God for all the rest of the stuff that he's already given you. And, you know, so it creates this like feeling of just complete contentment, like we were talking about before. And it sparks so much more greatness that comes from that. So that was what I wanted to touch on before. But as far as what you just asked me, what is God, or like what's my idea of God?
Yeah.
I think that it's really abstract. I don't think it's, even though I'll say he sometimes, I really don't think it's like a guy up there.
Yeah.
It's not like
Like
a guy
Morgan
with a
Freeman, you know?
beard. Yeah, it's not Morgan Freeman. It's not just like a guy with a beard and a cool voice. When
Yeah.
I talk to God, often when he talks back to me, it's in a similar dialect to the way I speak. And I'm sure that, you know, it probably happens with other people. They talk and they hear the God that sounds like them. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's just one necessarily God that is existing in this. There might be multiple. There might be, I don't really know. All I know is it's just kind of something that's greater than me. I think
Yeah.
that that's where it begins and ends. Something greater than me that has way more knowledge and is just, I mean, pretty much perfect in every way. And it's just something that I can always go back to. You know, it's something I can always consult with. Like if I'm about to say something, I might just be like, yo, God, should I say this? And then you might be like, nah, just keep your mouth shut. Or yeah, like say it, fuck it. And you know, that's all it is for me. It's like my best friend in a way. But if your best friend was like a perfect genius.
That makes a lot of sense now. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, man.
But you said that God tells you not to share certain things or not to say certain things. And so I want to try and touch upon things that haven't gone where you wanted them to go, because you've had so much success, right? You're an inspiration to young people like myself. Like, you're 18, bro. You're 18, and there's so many things that have gone your way. But what are some things that have kind of not gone your way, if you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Oh, bro, trust me, there's more that haven't than have. It doesn't get shown, but that's how it is, man. There's been, I mean, when I first came up, I spent my first $300, invested my first $300 in 50 shirts. And one of the first affirmations that I wrote is, I will sell all 50 shirts. But you know, no one wanted to buy the shirts because Reeno wasn't really anything
Yeah.
at that point. And maybe it wasn't the smartest business decision, but yeah, that's one thing that didn't go right. No one wanted to buy them. I ended up having to, you know, really push them at school. And even then, like I had to sell some of the last like 5 shirts for $5 each just to get rid of them.
Yeah.
And then after that, you know, I had done the Billie Eilish thing and I dropped again. And like I did a 6-piece collection one time, you know, 6 different t-shirt designs, and it sold 32 units. And like I was expecting way more, and that was like a
Yeah.
big hit. But you know, with all of those things, that there's lessons, and one of the things that I learned from that one is that business is not personal. It's not that they didn't sell well because the designs were awful. You know, it might have been a lot of different things. It might have been there wasn't a lot of people online. It might have been that you know, I didn't market it the best, but it's not personal. It doesn't reflect on my character. But yeah, there's let me think if there was really any else. I mean, most of the celebrities that I reach out to, nothing even happens with that. So I don't know if you would call that necessarily a failure, but people
You gotta
just
try.
see.
You gotta try it, you know? You gotta
I try more than anybody has tried. I mean, I don't know if that's really true, but I at least try as much as humanly possible for sure. And more often than not, it doesn't work, but I keep trying and I stay trying. And there's been failures in other aspects of my life, man, not clothing related, you know, and there's been a lot of that too. But man, the thing I would say about that is really the pain is the best fuel, bro. The pain, you know, without the pain, there's really no drive. Pain is the best. Welcome that. Fail as much as possible. There's that one quote that's like, fail often, fail early. Yo, let me give this advice. If you're a starting out business, all right, first thing I'll say to you is study the history of whatever industry that you're moving into. But also be the most experimental you can be and look at what everyone else is doing and then try to do the exact opposite of that. Be experimental as fuck, because now is the best time to fail because you have such low stakes. Right now, I'm so careful about what I put out, not because I'm afraid of failing, but because people have a certain expectancy of me. And it's not necessarily that I care about upholding that, but it's that I want to uphold that for myself. And so it has to be amazing if it sees the light of day. But when you're a starting business, man, just try different stuff. When I first started out, I like released like a story on Instagram that I did that was like a 6-slide long written story. And I'm sure you can imagine that didn't really go over well with the algorithm because that's probably not what they prefer. But hey, I was just trying different shit, man. See what works. But yeah, bro, without listing too many examples, there's been a lot of failures, more failures than not, man.
Yeah.
And I'll also say not just far in the past. There's been recent ones too. You know what I mean? And it's going to keep happening, bro, because I keep trying to change things. And when you keep trying to change things, certain things is not going to work. I welcome mistakes. I love mistakes.
I mean, you'll probably be familiar with that feeling where you look back at what you did yesterday or a week ago, something that you sent. Like, I don't know if you remember, I sent you some thumbnails that I did. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
They were so bad. I am actually sorry for sending them. That first one, with like the blue background and like the emojis. I look back at that today and I'm thinking to myself, what was I thinking? But I tried it, and I've learned, and I know now that that's not what people want, So, going back to your point on having like a standard, do you think that limits you, or do you think that helps you? Because you say that only certain things see the light of day. Do you think that limits how much you're willing to put out, or do you think that acts as a filter for what you put out?
It's good because it doesn't necessarily limit what I create, because I'll just create whatever I feel like creating. But there's a certain standard to where other people are going to see it, because I'm thinking of everything 50 years from now. Okay, am I going to put this out and be proud of it still 50 years from now? No.
Yeah.
Then there's no point in showing it. All right, we'll count this off as a study. All right. So it doesn't limit me at all. It's just, like you said, it's a filter, because I still will create the same amount. It's just as far as what people see. And I see, and that did not used to be the case. I used to make it and be so kind of validation seeking, or just too excited and emotional, to where I would just post it right away. Boom, this is so fire. Like, I made it 1 second ago and I'm like, this is so fire, post it. And I look back at that now and I'm like, yo, maybe you should have sat with that for a couple days.
Yeah.
So now I do that all the time, if not days, weeks, especially if it's something that I want to last, like a collection or a product that I put out.
With your collections, like, how many designs go into the bin for each design that you publish?
Probably maybe 6 times more.
Bruh.
Like, get however many pieces there is and then multiply that by 6, and that's how many total designs were made, and then the rest were trashed or archived.
Because we don't see that. We just see the polished Reeno product and we're like, yo, that's sick. But what we don't see is the 6 that you've been throwing away. Because
trust me, there's a lot of 3 a.m. trash designs that come out of my Photoshop folder that I look at the next day and I was like, yo, maybe I should have just gone to bed at that point.
How long did it take for you to get that eye to where you can see whether something is good or not?
It's a good question. I've been operating this way for at least like 6 months now. So probably like within like the first 2 years of starting my business, I didn't have that. But I don't know if it's necessarily something that takes everyone a lot of time. I just think that someone should have told me, hey, maybe sit with your stuff before you post it. Or,
maybe don't release that one, bro.
Yeah, or just like it really boils down to exposure to the history, which is something that I always tell people to do, is take some time off, study the history, and develop your vision. And now that I've actually done that, I see these masters in the industry that I'm in, masters of their work. And it's kind of naturally done it for me because everything that I do, I can't get that amazing piece that they made out of my head. And I'm like, this is literally nothing compared to that. And that's okay. Sometimes it could be nothing compared to that and still be an amazing product. But oftentimes it isn't. And so that's like this kind of blue or red pill that you have to take, like looking at all the history and stuff so that you can realize like, okay, this is the truth. Even if it is painful, you're going to look at it, see the masters of it, look back at your stuff and realize this is trash. And that's the most, beautiful enlightenment you could reach. For me, it probably took 2 years, but if someone would just watch, a video that I made on that, it could take them 20 minutes. And then obviously a couple months of looking into it, and then they'll really have it.
Who did you study?
Oh, there's a lot. I studied Kanye for sure, watched all his interviews. Yo, I just gotta say, man, bro, shout out to Kanye, man. He gets a lot of flack. Yo, I don't know if anyone gets more flack, but this man really has a special mind, bro. And he has a really special mindset. He really taught me that if you believe that you can achieve something and you believe you can get it, that is all you need to overcome the doubts of everyone else and the doubts of yourself. All you need is to believe in that and believe in yourself. You taught me how to have higher self-esteem and be more confident and think bigger. And, he was one of the people that I could compare my work to, the masters. Like I said, like often whenever I'm in a creative block or something, I listen to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy because I'm like, yo, this is like, in my opinion, like kind of the pinnacle of music right here. Brought together everything so perfectly, so beautifully. So I definitely studied Kanye probably more than anyone just because he's so fun, bro. Like there's other people I studied, but they're just not as fun. Like I studied David Goggins, I studied Bob Proctor, Eminem, all these other people. But I mean, actually Eminem is a fun one too. But Kanye, man, he's just fun to listen to, fun to watch. And then you can listen to the music and you understand it better. But yeah, so him, let me think of anybody else. There's definitely more. I have a people who inspire me list. It's about 60 numbers long. Let me very quickly glance at that.
No worries, man. No worries.
Because this is valuable information.
You gotta feel sorry for Kanye, man, with the election. I don't want to bring up politics too much, but he really believed that he could do it. He really thought.
No, I don't think he did.
No?
No, he knows he's going to be he knows he's going to be the president. I think that he really believes that, but I don't think he knew he could. I think he knew he wasn't going to win this year. He's smart enough to, I think, know that at least. Who knows though?
Did you listen to the Joe Rogan with him on?
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I mean, he jumps around so fast, but that's what makes him so interesting to listen to. Like, he describes them as symphonies, He puts together all these things and whoop, and now you've got this massive load of information that you have to digest.
It's beautiful, bro.
I was sat there, like, after listening to his podcast, and I was like, God damn, this guy's got an interesting brain, man. Interesting brain.
Very much so, bro. Like, there's not many 3-hour podcasts that I listen to where I'm like, okay, now I have to go and re-listen to this.
Yeah.
Which I felt like after I listened to that, I was like, okay, just listened to this guy talk for 3 hours and got so much from it. But I know if I went and re-listened to it, I would get another, like, double the amount from it. You know what I'm saying? There's just so many gems, bro. I love Kanye, bro. I don't give a fuck. So some of the other people that I studied was Basquiat, Warhol, Banksy, Keith Haring. We got Jim Carrey.
Oh, I
Imran
love Jim
Potato,
Carrey.
Ass Pizza. Yeah, certain actors, Jim Carrey is a really thoughtful person beyond just his acting ability, which is incredible already.
Hmm.
Um, Big L, one of the best, one of my favorite artists. It's just the creative, the wordplay in his stuff is so sick. We got producers on here, or like movie creators like Stanley Kubrick, people like that. I'm just giving you an overview. There's literally 60 something people on here. Certain comedians like Andy Kaufman, Dave Chappelle, of course. Certain business people like Mark Zuckerberg, and people of that
So
type.
you've got people from all over the place.
Everything, bro. Everything. I got boxers in here. I got fighters. I got basketball players, artists, business people, comedians, and just like friends. I have even friends in here. Just random people, architects, everything, bro. I think that's the healthiest.
When you talk about friends, let me guess, there's Diego in there? Ryan,
Hell
maybe?
no. Nah, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Diego's definitely inspiring, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, let me shout out to Diego. Diego, Vital Studios, owner of Vital Studios, because Diego is one of my friends who is the best at. I can send him something and he will say, "Yo, that's garbage, bro," or he'll just be like, "Yeah, that's all right, but you could do way better," and it's so annoying and it's the best. It's just like, because it's I know what he's gonna say before he even says it. Because I'll be like, all right, I just made this T-shirt, it's fire. All right, I'm gonna send it to Diego, and then I have this little thought, and I was like, yeah, he's gonna say it sucks, and he's right. So yeah, Diego definitely inspires me to be a better person. He's dope, man. His vision is sick too, man, and he's
How
very, very well educated.
how did you meet him?
He hit me up a long time ago and was like, "Hey, man, could I do a free video for you?"
Ah,
And I never had him do a free video for me, but eventually I met up with Ryan, and with Ryan I did a collaboration. Uh, Ryan is the owner of Crash Vancouver, which is another brand. We three kind of do stuff together. For anybody that doesn't know, but Ryan hit me up and we started doing a collab, and then he introduced me to Diego, and then we just became friends, and then yeah, that's it.
makes a lot of sense. So have you without giving away too much, what you and Diego got anything planned in the future?
I mean, shit, bro. Maybe people want it. I don't know. Let me know.
I can tell you. They want it, bro. They want it. I remember, well, Crash and Val Studios are doing a collab right now. And they teased that shit for so long, bro. Like 6 months before, they were like putting things in each other's comment section and stuff like that, man. Ah,
Been a long time coming.
it has. It has. What have you got planned for Reno in the future then?
More mock-up packs. If we're talking a media future, we got more mock-up packs coming, baby. More digital products. Yo, I want to get my YouTube to at least 300 videos. I'm trying to do a video a week or 2 videos a week. It's kind of a little hard to swing with college, but I'm trying to do that. I want to get 300 videos to you guys because that'll cover the basics, right?
The basics.
So, oh yeah, that's the basics. Everything on top of that is just the specifics.
Damn.
Anyways, so more digital tools, more YouTube videos. All right. More collections, amazing collections, futuristic and innovative ones. We want to build the Reno team and get bigger and get some more people on it. And so we could expand, because it's only me right now. And I got a few other people that are working on mock-up packs with me that were actually just supporters. So that's the best way. I love doing it like that. But anyways, got sidetracked. But really, this is the real thing, man. I'm at college. I'm going to be here for the next 4 years. I'm really just putting my head down right now and grinding this shit out, man. I'm doing my best. Like, that's my number one focus right now. I'm focused on, going to class and making the best figure drawings I can make. Or, they assign me homework. Okay, go out and draw a landscape. I don't care what I got to sacrifice, man. This is what I'm here for. I'm
Yeah.
gonna give this shit everything. I'm gonna make the best landscape that I can make. Because after that, there is no more college. There is no more schooling. I got this 4 years giving it everything, and then it's the free world, bro. At that point, then I'll really start, taking over shit and really, really like going nuts, linking with everybody. I'm talking about solidifying my spot. You know what I mean? And yeah, like you could argue it's a little solidified right now, but like just wait and see. After 4 years is really gonna get crazy. But yeah, man, right now I'm just focused on college. After that, it's really just it's up, bro.
When it comes to networking, how do you recommend? Let's say I have a page with zero stuff, absolutely nothing, starting from scratch. What would you recommend for an artist or somebody, a creative? What would you recommend them to do to try and build themselves up?
Okay. The key to networking is you have to have a really, really good base of work so that the people that you're trying to network with can go back to your page and say, yo, this dude is fire. All right, let me hit him back. If you got no posts and you hit someone up and say, yo, man, let's do a collab together. I promise you, I'm rolling your eyes at your DM right now. Like, it's not even a consideration. If you say that to me and I look back at your page and I say, yo, this is some of the coolest shit I ever seen, what kind of idiot would I be to not respond to that DM? So you got to have such an incredible page or an incredible portfolio that the other person you're trying to network with can see that it would make no sense for them not to network with you. Really, the key to networking is to become the person that everyone else wants to connect with. So the first thing you do, set up an amazing base. It doesn't have to be really big or expansive, but a few pieces that show what you're capable of. All right. Then hit up some people that are a little kind of easily reachable, someone that has maybe a few thousand followers instead of 100,000, followers. And then build up your kind of personal network. And then once you have that, the connections are going to kind of become more natural. You'll meet somebody who has a degree of connection with another person that you want to meet. And then they can introduce you to that person rather than you cold DMing them. But man, you just got to really be guerrilla with that shit. Do every way. All right. So do the DM. Someone hit me up the other day and was asking me about networking. And he said like, okay, but should I hit up the ones with, who should I hit up? Like I told him to hit up some of the people that I follow. And he was like, yeah, well, who should I hit up? Some of these people have like, 100,000 plus followers and some of them, and I stopped him and I was like, yo, how much does a DM cost? And he was like, word. So just hit up everybody, bro. There's no consequence to it. It's not costing you any money out of your pocket. Hit everyone up, see what you can get. And if they don't respond to your DM or they don't respond to your email or your call or your 7th email or your 11th email, all right, if they're still not responding, find a different way. All right, get whatever you want. That's what I want to teach these people. If it's not happening one way, you better figure out another way to get it. Like I said at the beginning, it's not maybe, it's how. Like figure it out. How are you going to reach those people? So hit up everyone. And eventually the people that really appreciate your work are going to be the most friendly back. And those are going to be the best people to network with. So if you're hitting someone and it seems like they really don't want to network with you, you don't want to network with them either.
Yeah.
It's not gonna, nothing good is gonna come of it anyways. So yeah, man, it's not that hard though.
But I think a lot of people, myself included, will feel like there's a lot of pressure, and I don't want to come off as a dick. I want you to think good of me. So how do you send a message or an email or whatever it is without coming off badly or annoying?
Yeah. Provide something. That's it. Just, you hit me up asking if you could make YouTube thumbnails for me. Not in exchange for anything, just to do it.
Yeah.
And that's a very, kind gesture. So people will look fondly upon that. I've hit up people and said, yo, can I just send you this maca pack? Or can I just send you this shirt? Nothing in return.
Yeah.
I just want to give you something. And then, connections and relationships have been built upon that. Never underestimate the value of giving something for free, because a lot of times you get paid back for it in other ways, especially if you're an up and coming brand. I feel like a lot of these up and coming brands feel like they're the shit. And like, all right, you want a commission? You're going to have to pay for commission. You're going to have to pay me $250 for me to draw you a logo. Yo, you have 200 followers. Charge whatever you want to charge. But if you're not seeing the results you want to see, maybe it's time to drop a level of your ego and start doing commissions for $20. Build up a base. Okay, now you've done 40 commissions for $20. Look at all these people that you have now, and you can get reviews from them. And then you can do more and charge more and stuff. But, like I see people saying like, maybe a famous person is asking them to do cover art, and then they tweet, and then they're like, okay, cool, $400. And then the person leaves them on red. And then they post it on Twitter and say, got left on red for knowing what I was worth. And it's like, okay, congratulations. Like, yeah, you know what you're worth, but now you just lost that, connection. And
it's a massive opportunity.
Maybe you don't care. Yeah, maybe you don't care. Maybe you don't care that you missed the opportunity. Then great. I appreciate that you know what you're worth. But I always knew what I was worth, but I also knew what I was willing to give up and sacrifice to make certain connections that would help other people see what I'm worth. Like, it all comes back around. You got to think about it like chess, man. It's not checkers. Like, you got to think about it a few moves in advance, right? It's not just necessarily, it can't be just an ego thing. I've lost opportunities too, because I've decided, let me decide to charge on this. And then they've stopped responding, and I regretted it. And I was like, you know what? I wish I would have had this connection instead of $200.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I would say. Free stuff. Give stuff away as much as possible.
Because
it will come back.
It's not really free, is it?
You're getting something in return. Something probably more valuable than what you want to charge for it.
Yeah. Quick question. This is completely unrelated. It just came into my mind. You did some work with Lil Tecca, right?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So basically, my friend Dylan, owner of Worldwide Youth, he basically just hit me up and was like, yo, we're doing Tecca's merch. Like, would you want to do it? Like, there wasn't that much to it, honestly. I just was friends with the right person. And I had already linked with Tecca's manager at one point.
Right.
And so I had kind of built that rapport with him, and just, so we were all three of us kind of cool. And it was just like the obvious thing. That's the thing too. Like, the best designer is not going to get the job. It's the one who's just like the easiest to work with, and the kind of like, I already know this person. So that's why you want to be cool with everybody. So they just hit me up and was like, all right, you want to do the merch? And I was like, yeah. And then that's it, really.
Bruh. For people who don't know who Lil Tecca is, he's like a worldwide rapper with millions of followers, millions of views on YouTube, millions of streams. And this guy here, Sam Mazzarino, designed some of his merch. Bruh. And all it was is connections.
Yeah, I designed a bunch of pieces, bro. Remember when we were talking about the, multiply the thing by 6? I probably like 6 to 10 of the stuff got released that I did for him, but there's 90 files on my computer for that.
Whoa.
Yeah, man. Especially when you're doing work for a label, bro. That shit is no joke. They're very strict. But yeah, it was a dope opportunity, man. And some of the best stuff that I've designed, honestly. And yo, I love Tecca, bro. Yo, Tecca's a goat, man. He's also like young too.
How old is he? 19?
18, man, I think. I think he's our age. He might be a little younger.
Oh my goodness. Whew. And you wasn't Reduciano Diego? He was involved in that too, wasn't
he? Yeah. Diego was also involved in that.
Yeah. Shiva. Shiva is a word you've been throwing around a lot recently on your Instagram. Do you care to expand on that however much you want to?
It's a collection. I'm working on it. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's it, bro. Nothing else,
That's it. Wait for it.
bro. How long?
I don't know. Could take years. Probably less. But I tell you what, bro. This is the first collection where I have not given myself a deadline. And I'm gonna keep working on this. And I've designed the whole collection a couple times now and scrapped everything and started over. And I'm not gonna drop it until I think that this is the best work that I could possibly come up with. So I don't know how. I don't know when. There's other stuff coming in the meantime. All right, don't worry about Shiva. Shiva's gonna come, man. It's like, I don't know. It's like a whole lot of red or some shit. Just don't worry about it. It's on its way, bro. When the time is right. Oh, you know what? Also, you asked me about the future. I forgot to mention. One thing that I'm working on is a very, very big shoe collaboration. And that's all I'm going to say about it. But I did want to mention it.
Come on, bro. You're teasing us, man.
Right?
You're giving us so little, man. Come on,
Perfect.
bro. You're serious? That's it. Just a shoe. That's all you're gonna say,
I'm so serious. As a heart attack.
bro. Oh, I lost my train of thought. What I was gonna say. Oh yeah, deadlines. You said that you've not set a deadline with Shiva. How important do you find deadlines like for your stuff you've done in the past and the stuff you're doing now? Because like with college work, you'll obviously have a deadline as to when that's in. Do you find you work better when you have the deadline? How does that work?
No, I still haven't fully figured that out because with the Tecca thing, we had a tight deadline.
Yeah.
And we produced some amazing stuff because the pressure was on. And some days I had to stay up until 3. There was no choice. I had to. And sometimes that creativity just happened to flow. But a lot of times when I set deadlines, I don't allot the amount of time that a project really needs and the amount of care that it really needs. But what I do is I incorporate deadlines into the design process. So I'll say, okay, you have to come up with 5 designs for Shiva this weekend.
Right.
I don't know if those will get used, but I'll at least come up with them so that my brain is working and you know, it's trying. So I like deadlines like that. If there's no deadlines, man, in life, then you're not going to get stuff done to the level you want to get done. I set deadlines for a lot of other things. Like I set monthly goals that I have to get this done by the end of the month. I set goals for the mock-up packs for sure, especially things that require less creative energy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best stuff to put deadlines on and make it tight. Like make it tight so you really got to hustle for that shit because, you know, a lot of stuff really can end up taking up a lot less time than we think it does. So yeah, deadlines are dope. I fuck with them.
What does a day in the life of Reeno look like?
Yo, I got a weird life, bro. Or I got a weird like daily routine. So basically, I get up, I pray. Sometimes I try to do this every day. I thank God for 10 things. So, you know, you could feel that sense of gratitude right in the morning. And just when you walk after that, your energy is really good and different. I go take a cold shower, ice cold shower. Actually, before that, I brush my teeth and I listen to affirmations in the morning.
That?
Affirmations is like certain truths that you write about your life.
Okay.
So I listened to a recording of myself giving affirmations. Like, it's like stuff that you write as if it's happened, even if it hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
Feel me? So I listen to those. It reminds me of my vision and where I'm trying to go every day so that I can go through the rest of the day operating on that. Take a cold shower.
Freeze your balls
off. Get out of the shower. Huh?
Freeze your balls off.
Yeah, no. Freezing ice cold shower, as cold as it goes. Get out. I do, you know, a set of pull-ups, set of push-ups. I don't look at my phone until all of that morning stuff that I just listed is completely done. Then I can look at my phone. All right. And then I just, I have my to-do list because I made it the night before. and I just knock off shit off my to-do list. I work out almost every day. Try to do every other day, just because with college you can't really do it every day. I eat the same thing every day. I eat a smoothie in the morning with peanut butter, and I eat vegetables every night with some slight variation. And I let myself cheat because otherwise I would get way too sick of it. But generally, I eat the same thing every day. And then, you know, the rest is kind of up to whatever I have on my to-do list. But then I go to sleep and I have another nightly routine. I turn off my phone at some time, and then I kind of operate. I do the dishes, I do all my stuff, I stretch, I journal. I often meditate. I try to meditate every single day. Try to read every day, but that's kind of hard in college too.
Yeah.
And then I go to bed and I repeat it.
How many things do you have on a to-do list? Because I was talking to Diego, and he was saying that he has like so many things on there, and he just ticks them off one by one. And even like the smallest things, if I remember correctly, he was saying like he just puts it on there so that you can get one thing done.
Yeah.
So how big are your to-do list? Because if I make my to-do list too big, not that much is getting done. It's too overwhelming for me.
It's probably like 8 things a day, something like that. And then like I try to keep it to 5 essential things. Like I put that in bold. I made a video on it. I put like the essential things in bold. And so I try to get like 3 to 5 things in bold that I have to do every single day. And then the rest is like, I try to get it done. But as long as I get that bullshit done, I'm good. Diego, his schedule is nuts, yo. He needs, we're working on that. But yeah, that's what I do.
When I get him on the podcast, we'll go through what he says. Yeah.
Hell yeah, yo, I'm excited for that. Oh my God. Oh, but and then also like, well, as far as like a day in the life, as far as college goes, I have on Thursday and Friday, I have studio for 4 hours and 5 hours on those days.
What studio?
Studio is the in-person class that I have.
Okay.
So you go to studio and like you actually are going to an art studio and creating art. Other than that, it's online classes. Typically, I just do other things during the online classes. Sometimes I turn on my camera. Sometimes I don't. I'm sorry. I don't know if there's a rule that you have to, so I take advantage of that fact because I don't think they can make you. Yeah. So sometimes I slip through it, but don't do that. Don't do that, kids. No. I don't do that. Yeah, that's a day on life. I drink a lot of water too. All right, sorry. Next question.
It's fine. How important is like a routine for you? Have you had periods like where you haven't had a routine, and what's the comparison like?
It's like the comparison is order versus disorder. When I have a clear routine, it's like I have a foundation made out of titanium that I can build the rest of the house on. And that's a really good house. Whereas, you know, you don't want to build a foundation out of like sawdust, you know, something like that.
That would not be a good house, bro. That
wouldn't be a good house, yo. Your house is like soft. So yeah, man, a routine, I have to have that. I can't. That comes before everything. Like I said, I don't even check my phone when I'm in the routine. That's like the essential building block of the day. And then the middle is, you know, it's just extra.
When you journal and like, do you use like real paper, or do you use laptop, phone, whatever? How do you do that?
Paper and a pen, bro. Sometimes I use blue pen. Sometimes I use black pen.
Ooh, switching up, man. That's a complex setup, man.
I know, man. It's hard.
It is, yeah. I mean, when I've been journaling, I found that my life is better when I journal, but it's difficult for me to get into the habit of journaling every day because your day kind of it takes its own way. You get what I mean? So how do you make sure you journal every day? Because you're on like day 400 and something, right?
Yep.
How do you do that? How do you make sure you do that every day?
Just tell myself I'm going to do this every day. And then I just do it. And then,
Yeah.
you know, on the days that I can't do it, like if I'm out, then I have to make it up the next day, and I have to
Okay.
give a little synopsis of the previous day. But it's not often that I go 2 days in a row like that.
That's fair. That's fair. And you said you don't use your phone like at certain times. This is a bit of a broader kind of question, so take this wherever you want. Do you think that you would be where you were if it wasn't for technology?
Hell no. Straight up. I wouldn't have the friends I have. I wouldn't have the fan base that I have and the people that I have that support me. I wouldn't have the platform to share my art. Bro, I don't know. Even with if I had my same drive, but I had it 20 years ago, I still think I'd probably just be working at a job. Like I would probably get to where I want to be at some point, you know, but I'd have to work a lot harder.
Yeah.
And it would take me a lot longer. So I can't lie, bro. If I didn't have, you know, the access to technology and all this shit right now, I would be in a very different spot, man.
You'd still be Pizzarino.
A blessing. Pizza Reno, bro. I'd be the goated server. I'd be the best server ever.
You said that on your story. Was it yesterday or the day before? You're like, even when I was making pizzas, I had to make sure I have the best pizzas, something like that.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I didn't make pizzas. That's
Oh,
a
okay.
high level job. I was
Sorry.
actually serving tables and cleaning bathrooms and cleaning tables.
Right.
So, but yeah, what I was saying is how you do anything. Yo, bro, this is the quote that got me through that job. How you do anything is how you do everything. So I said, all right, if I'm gonna be where I want to be with this art shit, everything I do has to be incredible. The way that I clean this table has to be incredible because your character is measured, well, I guess the original quote is your character is measured by how you treat people that have nothing to offer you, but it's also measured by, you know, what you do when no one is around. And I would make sure that when no one was outside, because there was tables outside, so even though there was no one outside and they couldn't see me, I made sure I scrubbed those tables to the best of my ability, bro. Those tables were spotless. And when I went inside and when I cleaned those bathrooms, bro, I would really clean those bathrooms. And I would do the whole process. First, you had to pour in the soap, and then you had to clean it, and then you had to mix it around, flush, and then you could pour in the bleach, and then, you know, put the brush in, and then clean the rest of the bathroom. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but there was a whole process to cleaning a bathroom, bro. And I was fucking doing it every time. And I was looking in the mirror and I was saying, what the fuck am I doing here cleaning a bathroom? I'm meant for something greater than this. But I was still like, all right, but I'm here and this is what I'm doing. So let me be the best at it for now. And then when I'm an artist, I can be the best at that. But yeah, you gotta boss up everything you do. Doesn't matter how small or big it is. So that was my philosophy there.
And you use the Pizzarino, you use the cleaning stuff. You use that to take you and make it kind of cemented in your mind that this is not who I want to be. Who I want to be is so much bigger than this.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you have to hit those lows to be able to really reflect and say, okay, this has to really change.
Yeah, I feel you. Oh, what's that noise? It's fine. So before we wrap it up, I've got a few like quick fire questions. I mean, they're not that quick fire, but like some ones that I sort of prepared earlier. The first one is one that you'll have heard before. It's on the How I Built This podcast. This is the one he finishes with. You've obviously been very successful. You know, you've done a lot of great things. How much of that do you attribute to hard work, and how much of that do you attribute to chance?
Well, you know, the thing that people say about luck is like, it's just it's when opportunity meets preparedness or something to that effect. And I've always been ready for that, bro. And there's been a lot of chance, a lot of chance, but I've also set myself up to be able to get those chances to come into my life. I've done the mental work to create the vision of my life that has those chances coming in. And I've done the work that sets up my portfolio so that people can see that and say, okay, we want to reach out to this person. And, you know, people could say that's luck. Like people could say that Cardi reaching out to me, oh, that's so lucky. But, you know, he probably looked at my page and saw the other portraits and was like, yo, these are fire. And was like, okay, I want one. So yeah, there's an aspect of luck to it, but there's also an aspect of I worked hard and I worked for that style. So I don't know. I would say it's more hard work, bro, because if I was doing nothing and, you know, I was a really lucky person, but I had nothing actually happening. I didn't have Reeno. What would I get? Like a cool quarter on the floor or something? Like, cool, I'm lucky. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. Probably like 50-50, but there's a lot deeper than just those two numbers, you know?
Yeah, because you need the work for the luck to come almost, or
Yeah.
chance. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel you. I feel you. If you had, let's pretend everybody in the whole world is listening to this right now. You got everybody, all humans on the earth. What's your message?
The biggest thing that people are controlled by is wanting other people to like them. What I would say to everybody is focus on what you can control. If it's out of your control, figure out how you can completely let that go. If you can get to the point where your entire focus and what you're taking action on is things that are completely in your control, you will be so much more at peace. You will achieve so much more. Everyone in your life will be happier. You'll be more inspiring, and your life will just multiply and become so much better. If it's something in your life that brings you pain or makes you upset, and it's something that you can't control, maybe it was in the past or maybe it's in the present, but if you can't control it, let it go. All right? The competition is not who makes the most money at the end of the day. It's who goes to sleep the happiest. So do whatever that it takes to get to a point where you're peaceful consistently. I've been at a point where I've experienced a lot of ups and downs, depression, and then coming out of it and having a high and then going back into it and having a low. Now I'm at a point, and I've been at this point for like the last year and a half, maybe 2 years, where I'm just consistently happy. And I really think it's because I just focus on what I can control, you know, and I try to have really good relationships with people and help as much as I can. And everything else, I just let it go. And I give that up to God, or you could say you just surrender it, period. You know, it's the same thing really at the end of the day. And yeah, and there's a lot of people that think that you can never really just achieve, you know, consistent happiness, but I don't know. I did it. Like, I feel like it's possible at least. Maybe not happiness. Maybe peace is a better word, because happiness is kind of a high. But yeah, man, don't give up on that, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And all the advice that I give, really, the one advice that is the most important is enjoy life at all costs. Because without that piece of advice, all other advice is moot. All right, if you take all the other advice that I say, everything else, but then you forget that one piece, that enjoying life at all costs is the ultimate goal, then all of it is for nothing. Maybe you'll get rich, maybe you'll attract everything that you want in your life, but you won't be happy, you won't be enjoying life. So what's the point, man? Do whatever that makes you happy. At the end of the day, you're all you got. Don't do it for anybody else. Don't look and compare your life to other people's. All right, maybe what does make you the happiest is working at a pizza restaurant. Don't look at me and say, oh, well, working, you know, him being an entrepreneur, that was his path. That might not be your path. You know, people have all different paths in life. Just, you know, don't compare yourself to others. Focus on what you can control and enjoy life at all costs, and you'll be straight. And stop worrying so much, and you'll be good.
That was a hella good answer, bro. You got me feeling inspired as hell.
Good.
Oh, before I ask my last question, this is something that I really wanted to touch upon. You said earlier that everybody wants everyone else to like them, right? How did you deal and overcome like the boundaries, if there were any, or the relationships with the people who are close to you and their judgment? Because I think a big limiter for a lot of people is they think to themselves, if I do this, what is my mum gonna think? What are my friends gonna think, etc. How did you deal with that?
Well, for the parents thing, it's kind of dark, but your parents are going to die before you. There's a very likely chance of that. And when they die, you're going to be looking at yourself and saying, why did I do all of this for them? Now they're gone. And now I have this life that makes them so happy. They're not even here to experience it. And I've sacrificed my life for them. It's just, even if they don't die, it's ridiculous, yo. At the end of the day, all you got is you. It's your life. You only get one of them. Stop living it for other people. There's not much to it as far as advice that I can give for that, because at the end of the day, it's just a truth, and you probably know it's true, and you just have to kind of figure out how to realize that and operate that in your own life. And I'm not perfect. Sometimes I do things so that other people will like me more. But it's that awareness level of realizing, okay, I only did this not because it's really helping me, but just because I wanted people to like me. And then you can change, but it really takes that initial awareness, and then you can act upon it. But one piece of advice I would have for that is be patient with yourself. And that's a piece of advice that I like to offer alongside a lot of other advice. But that's one thing that you're not going to overcome that in a day. You're not even going to overcome it in 5 years, probably. But you can at least become aware of it. And every time you do it, you can know, the reason you're doing stuff, and become more intentional with your life and stuff like that. But be patient with yourself, because it's a big thing to take on.
Because you look at yourself in the future, right? Not how you are now.
Yeah. What I say is, don't look in the mirror too much, because that's not you. And I've tweeted that a couple times, and I don't think anyone has ever understood what I'm saying. And they probably think it's like some Jaden Smith type tweet, but I really mean it. And my thinking with that is, when you look in the mirror, all you're seeing is a conglomeration of your past decisions. You're seeing the result of all of where your past decisions have led you. What you're not seeing is your potential. What you're not seeing is the way that God sees you, or what you were created to be able to accomplish. You're not seeing all the things that really matter. You're only seeing, the result of the past. So don't look in the mirror too much, because in reality, you're so much bigger than that, and you're going to become so much more than that. Don't get so, fixated on what you're at right now, or the past. Nothing like that, man. You have control over the future. That's all you got. So, focus on that.
No lie, bro. I'm gonna put like a post-it note or some poster or something, and I'm putting it. Can you see this mirror that's like in the background here? I'm sticking that on that right now. Well, after this thing.
Perfect.
I'll send you a picture. Next, the last question. If we have this conversation, in a year's time, where's Reeno gonna be?
Who knows, bro? God knows. No idea. Can't even think about that. I just know that all I really know is I'll have some mock-up packs set up, and I'll be a sophomore in college. And I think that's all I know. The rest, I'm going to leave that up to him.
Thank you very much for coming on the show, Sam. If people want to find your work, where can they go?
Hit on my Instagram at Reeno Stews, REENOSTUS. Go to my YouTube if you're trying to improve your life. Reeno Studios. Just search in Reeno Space Studios. Subscribe there. Twitter, Reeno Studios. That's the main things. Other than that, you're good. That's all.
Awesome. Thank you very much for coming on the show, man. Thank you so much.
Got you, man. Honored to be here.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of this episode of The Bit Between. What did you think? Did you like it? Did Do you enjoy it? Are you feeling inspired? Let us know. You can DM us at The Bit Between on Instagram. Sam is a really great guy. Go check out his stuff at Reeno Stus on Instagram. That's at REENOSTUS on Instagram. This episode was recorded a couple of weeks back, and since then, Reeno has released a few new digital products in his store, so make sure to go check them out as well. Once again, I really appreciate you listening to the podcast. I sincerely hope you enjoyed it, and I'm glad that you can be a part of the beginning of this beautiful project. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you in the next one.